Yes guys, I'm back with another one. And today I'm just going to be going through BTC, USDT dominance, BTC dominance, just having a little look what's going on in the markets at the minute, guys. So yeah, let's get straight into it. So I'm on BTC on the daily. I've got a volume profile from last week, and then I've got this week's volume profile. This is the daily. This is a major daily zone in BTC. You can see where it went through, dropped out, came up, got rejected twice, dropped back in. Previous week's value area low is around there, 104.844. The point of control is at 108.8. That's last week's point of control. The previous week's value area high is at 109.8. Excuse me. So these are areas that I'm going to be looking at to possibly take trades. At the minute, where we are, you know, that's possibly a trade that you want to be looking at. It could even, because it's come back into the value area, this week's value area, it's got potential of even coming up to around here. So if you take this trade here now, where we are, and your stops up there, you could possibly DCA in up at that area, because there's a potential for it to actually go up into that area. So we will be watching that area very, very closely. So yeah, these are important levels that I've just been marking out. So we need to keep an eye on them levels. Like I say, stop listening to all these other sausages that are on Twitter and YouTube that are absolutely full of the old brown sticky stuff, because they're just going to get you wrecked. So stop listening to them. Just use these levels and you'll see how we play out. USDT dominance. Let's have a little look on here where we're at the minute. Let's go down in the 4 hour. Probably going to have to change this. I'll refine that in a minute. Go down into the hourly. Have a little look where we are. Go to there. So you can see from last week's point of control, I'm just using these levels of where we could potentially bounce or drop from, and I had that level marked out, which were a perfect level, and it got rejected from and dropped below. Same here, it got rejected from last week's point of control. Value area low, dropped below, came back in, and then pushed back up. So this week's, where we're at the minute, we're on the point of control. So like I say, these are just levels that I'll mark out of where we could potentially go to, bounce from, reject from. These are the levels that I'm looking at. Excuse me. So, not a lot going on at the minute. We're going sideways. If we drop into the daily, having a little look in the daily at the minute. You know, you can see we're rejecting from that area, but we are holding this major trend that's been going up for multiple years. So I'll be watching that area where it did bounce, and now it's stuck in a range. BTC dominance, where are we? What we're doing? So if we go down into the hourly, have a little look where we are. So from Monday to where we are now, we're below the value area at the minute on BTC dominance. Last week's let's have a little look. Value area high, what we got rejected from, point of control where we were getting rejected from, and we're below last week's value area low as well. So what are the potentials where we're going to go at the minute? We just keep getting rejected and then getting bought back up in this area here. So all these sausages that are like, oh, BTC dominance is rejecting, me. And then they're putting the trend line in. You know, we are below it still. We are below that trend. So there is a potential for it to continue to drop down. But we've seen it before. You know, they had this trend line in here. Wherever they put it, I don't know where they put it. And like I said, I don't really use it that much. And yeah, it did get rejected, but it got bought back up straight away. And BTC is the dominant player in the game at the minute. So you just got to be careful with what you're trading at the minute and where we are. At the minute, ETH seems to be the one that's trading higher and higher. I need to look where this is from. To there. So you can see here, last week's value area high, we held and bounced. So where we are at the minute, look, if you just have these little areas marked out where it's bounced from the value area high, which goes into the value area low, which is this week's value area low, where we bounced again. And that's why I love using these volume profiles. These volume profiles are great. They're great for just to mark out levels to see where we could go. Look, 1 bounce, 2 bounce, 3 bounce, 4 bounce, and then we fire up. So you know, you want to go short at the value area high, and you want to go long at the value area low. It's pretty simple. Like I say, trading is pretty simple. So next week, if we start up here in this zone and we create another volume profile, we could potentially be filling that gap. But we just got to keep watching, seeing what we're doing. You know, it's the best way to do it at the minute. Sol. We'll have a little look at Sol. We'll have a look at last week's value areas. That's this week. Last week's. To just grab this a minute. Let's get the other volume profile I like to use. Pretty similar. Last week's value area high. I've got that marked out. previous week's value area high, previous week's value area low, and previous week's point of control. And where we are at the minute. Caught inside a range at the minute. Where we are on the hourly. There's your high. Where it came up above. Couldn't hold. Dropped below last week's value area high. We came below this week's value area high. Came all the way down to the low. Nearly bouncing off the POC of last week. We were like 1% off. I probably wouldn't have taken that trade. I would have loved to have seen that. And then we get bought back up. And we go for that. And your risk to reward. Obviously you'd have been putting that below your value area low of last week. And you'd have been aiming there. You know, nice trade. What else have we got? Trying to see if there's else that I've been wanting. Atom. Let's have a little look at that. We're all just caught in a range at the minute. Theta. I was watching somebody on about Theta. I can't remember when it was. I'm sure it was this week. And they're like, oh, Theta's programmed to go here. No, it ain't. Shut up. Sick of hearing it, man. Sick of hearing people coming out with crap all the time. And then people follow and end up getting wrecked. And then they're not held accountable for it. They give a shit if you're wrecked or not. Oh, wrong one. What am I doing? So if you have a little look, generally, once it comes outside that point, which is the value area high, it generally comes back to the low. And that's all you've got to use. Let me just bring these paths down a minute. But then I will go back to the paths and I'll show you the path that we're looking at. And if you have a little look here, last week's point of control, which is there, it got rejected from. Once, twice, thrice. And last week's value area low. Bounced, up we go. So you can make trading so much easier for yourself. Just by using this. Just by seeing where the points control are. And if you have a little look at the minute, where we are, we're at the point of control. We're playing around the point of control at the minute. You know, value area low, value area high, keep getting rejected from it, which is around the point of control at the same. So if you had that level marked out, it never reached it. But this value area high here, your stop could be above there. And you could just be aiming for there. The great trades, great risk to reward. So you come down that far, say you entered it there at 1 o'clock on Wednesday, you got the massive rejection at 1 o'clock on Wednesday, and you've got a 6%, put it down to stop, take some profit, down to break even. It's a free trade. It's just easy trading that people don't look at. They want to use all these 60 million indicators, and I just don't get it. I really don't get it. No, actually, Theta, go back to Theta 1 minute. And I want to go on to the daily. And I'll get this path up. That was the path if we'd have been rejected back down into there. And that was the path wrong one. That was the path that I had marked out where it came through, and you want to be taking profits here. And look, the main point of control in this whole area, look how it tagged it. If we'd have held that area and we'd have done that, then yeah, it's got potential to do that. But it never held. So you want to be getting out. So I called that trade in the group. Said you want to be longing it once it comes up above here. Your stop's going to be below there. And you're aiming up here. Take profits on the way when it gets to there, which it did. Your stop's at break even. You've took profit. It's a free trade now, this. So if it does fire off, then yeah, you're going to make some money. There was another one that I pointed out. Is it IOT, I think? Let me get it up on MEX. It's got the more data. So IOT, here, where we were, what I was looking at, that's the path I had marked out. Let me just close that a minute. This fixed range, go down to the hourly a minute. Let's have a little look here. So that fixed range, I think that's this week's. Yeah, that's this week's, that's fine, that can stay there. This was last week's. So let me just close them out for 1 minute. That was last week's point of control. And that was the previous week's. So if you have a little look here, see how it came up, hit, I had a short position in, and yeah, it stopped me out because I put it above that area there. Really, what I should have done, I should have had it above there. But you know, you can't win everything. I had it there. It started to get rejected. And I ended up getting stopped out. So be it. But just using them points again, having a little look at last week's value area low, last week's value area high, previous week's value area high, and previous week's point of control. And it's not going to play out every single time to the T. But if you look at this zone here, it's a zone of interest. That there is a zone of interest. So when it's coming up to that zone here, you've got another potential trade. And that's what you need to keep an eye on. I don't know what they are. Just having a little look. So you've got that one there, and that one there. Me, personally, I were expecting either a drop from here, previous week's value area low, which it near enough tagged, 0.3% away, and then look at the drop. A 10% drop, 10% a week. You've got to be laughing at 10% a week. So where we are at the minute, we're at the low. Is that VPOC 12? Yeah. We're at the low at the minute of where we are. The path I had marked out. Let's have a little look at the path. These are not straight at all. So these are the paths that I've got marked out. this was the path. That massive rejection there was perfect. Absolute perfect rejection of where it was. You know, you can refine these levels. I'm not going to refine them now, but you can refine these levels if you really want to. Previous weeks, and this is the current weeks. So just use these levels. You're not going to win every single trade, but if you can just use these levels, it'll make it so much easier for your trading. I need to get off anyways. I've got a lot to do today. But yeah, have a look at these levels using the pointer controls, and then marking out your own levels as well, because that big candle there, that one, and that one, generally, look at the gaps. They'll get filled. They generally get filled in the long run. And at the minute, it's filling out that gap. So, you know, from my entry, like I say, I did get stopped out, but you could have re-entered. You're up 16%. You got it on a times 10, 160%, times 20, 260. You know, it's easy trading. Like I say, I'm gonna get off. If you do want me to look it out, then give me a message in the comments below, and I'll have a little look at stuff for you if you really want to. Don't forget, all my links are going to be in the description below. And yeah, I will catch you in the next one, guys. Happy trading.